Yes, greetings, brothers and sisters, and we have our, very distinguished guest here from the last time. I couldn't wait for the next session.
Excellent.
Wesley, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, to mental health solutions, to drug and alcohol addiction, violence, crime, and homelessness, and. Also, before I forget, I better mention deepest thanks to Islington Giving for sponsoring us with this episode here, and also deep thanks also to our Forgotten Neighbors and also to Global City Productions. Yes, and well, I'm really looking forward to this because we've got some sound therapy to help us to recover from drug and alcohol addiction. Isn't that right?
That is correct indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, it is indeed. Through my story, the main tools that I learned to help me with my addiction, with depression, anxiety, was sound therapy. And I didn't even know it existed, or it was something that I could use. I've been involved in music my whole life, and I just wasn't aware that it could also help me in this area. So as I found my solutions, I started to collect the information of how they work and what the science is behind how these frequencies was affecting me, and how it was enabling me to sleep when I couldn't sleep, how it was enabling me to deal with my anxiety. I was able to come out of my depression, and there was times where I never thought I'd be able to there was no life beyond this.
Yes.
And these simple tools was things that helped me once I got to the point where I actually wanted help.
Yes, indeed, and you reminded me about the triggers, because sleepless nights, you're looking for some drug or something to put you to sleep, whether it's alcohol or something that'll knock you out. Anxiety, day after day after day, man, you got to slow this down. You got to hold it together. So you're looking for something to prop you up, prop your head up, and and so on, and so many different triggers out there.
Yes, indeed. And like for me, there was a time where if you saw me, I had been drinking because I couldn't leave my house without having one to get over the anxiety of leaving my house. You know what I mean? So that was my go-to to help me deal with my anxiety.
Yes.
And so when it got to the point where, okay, this is no longer a solution because it's going to kill me, I had to find something else to help me with that anxiety. I had to find something else to fill that space, that alcohol, because it was a crutch, it was a help. The drugs and the alcohol, they helped me function when I wasn't in the right state of mind to function. They helped me. They took over parts of my life. So then, for me to have a life without this addiction, I had to now find out, how do I take control of these areas of my life?
Yes.
And then that was my journey. It was discovery of how to do this, because there was no roadmap for me. There was no. I tried to get help from different charities. The waiting list is super long, and so it was because I already had such a good knowledge base when it came to sound. It was like, wow, this can really help. Okay, I actually know this, so I can help myself and discover a way, hopefully, to then be able to promote ways for others to help.
Yeah.
And this is all based on, this is nothing that I've invented. This is all just stuff that I found that I can now create myself because I create music. Indeed. So this is, it's been a great journey to discover that this stuff is out there. We just don't know where to look half the time.
Well, the thing is that, I always used to relate sound therapy as, when we did meditation and, and you have that sort of really you know, really beautiful music in the background. It's not dance music or anything, you know, it's just floating music or whatever, you know, running river music and so on, you know, birds tweeting music, and, you know. But you're talking about other sounds as well. As just,
like that is one side of it, creating a meditative state. So all of the, like, so when I use alcohol to deal with my anxiety, which was one way, it was because I was in a state of anxiety. And I was in that state of being, and that state of being has a physical reaction, and our brainwaves have a signature to them when we're in that state. We resonate at a certain frequency. So being able to use sound to dictate what state, or promote a state of being, should I say. You can engage with certain frequencies that promote certain physical reactions and reactions within our brainwaves that are measurable and are able to be done time and time again.
Indeed.
So for me, understanding this has really helped, because there is times where I've needed to get into meditative state, and I can listen to something that's very serene. We'll go through it. We've got some examples that we'll go through. But for me, it started at the sleep videos. That's where my journey began, and I put on a sleep video, and it helped me sleep for the first time properly in like 3 or 4 days while I was going through withdrawals from alcohol and cocaine. And that was it. I was like, okay, what else can this do, and why did that video help me to sleep? What's the science behind this? Because there must be a reason that these videos even exist.
So what video is this? Because I'm sure a lot of people out there would like to know this. There's a lot of people suffering from insomnia out there.
Yes. So,
and looking for alcohol and other drugs as props to prop them to sleep.
So there's a number of different sleep aids when it comes to sound, and everyone's preference will be slightly different, but there's a lot to choose from out there.
Okay.
So for me, the first one that I put on was a video that had certain frequencies called binaural beats and monaural beats, which we'll get into what that actually is in a bit. But basically, there's a pulsation within the music that you're listening to that promotes certain brainwaves over others. So it helps you get into a certain state. And the state that video helped me get into was a low delta brainwave state that helps you sleep and helps you. That's where you when you can naturally get to sleep, your body gets into that state naturally and you fall asleep. If you have insomnia, your body has a hard time for whatever reason to get into that state. So this video had frequencies in it that helped that promoted my body to, you know what I mean, promoted them brainwaves within my body, helped my resonant frequencies start to align with the state of sleep.
Well, I wish I'd known you when I went through 5 days and 5 nights without any sleep at all. And I drank gallons of spirits and gallons of this and that, and well, of course I was taking loads of cocaine and stuff, and also smoking crack. But I thought, well, you know, if I drank gallons and I still couldn't get to no rest at all. As they say, no rest for the wicked. You know, I was eating the devil's food, and you know, as they say, you know, I mean, there's no rest for the wicked, because we become what we eat. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it sort of reminds me that what I was doing was telling me, you gotta stop doing this shit. You know, you can't sleep. You lost your appetite and all that sort of stuff. What's the matter with you? You know, these are really, the truth was telling us something, but somehow we just wanted to continue regardless of whatever. The insanity of addiction is ever so compelling and mystifying.
And you know, these things are, we get caught in these loops. The addiction is a loop that we get caught in of instant gratification and wanting to be in an altered state, and our brains get used to the way we act. So our brains like patterns it identifies patterns. That's kind of how we exist, is through identifying patterns. Yeah. When I breathe a certain way, I'm okay. If I breathe another way, I might be not. So we get used to these patterns throughout our life, and it's called neuroplasticity. Is with the ability to change our ways of thinking, and so
could you repeat that word again?
It's called, I have trouble pronouncing it, but it's neuroplasticity.
Right.
So we have neurons that fire off in our brain, and they send messages to other neurons. I'm not a scientist, but this is just my understanding of it. And when we have patterns of behavior, our brain gets used to firing these neurons in certain patterns. And the more we do it, the stronger them connections become, to the point where it's really difficult to now form new ones, because we let our brain feels comfortable in this pattern of firing these neurons. So when we take substances, when we get that feeling, when we need another hit, all of these things that we feel, these what do they call it, impulses that we feel, is our brains are used to this pattern. I know what comes next, and I'm going to look after you here. This is what you need next. This is what you need next. This is what you need next. Now, the for me, it was understanding, for me to change these patterns, I can get into another altered state where you actually experience neuroplasticity, where it's easier to form new patterns of thought. When we're kids, we're in a state that something can change our mind in a second. We don't have these patterns yet. We're in a different state of being, and through sound therapy, through understanding these things, through certain types of meditation, you can now start to rewire some of these thinking. So you have to want to do it, but these are tools that allow you to start now thinking, okay, I'm not a slave to these thought processes anymore. I'm actually going to get involved in the foundations of how I think again.
Yes.
We do it when we're kids, without even realizing it.
Absolutely.
And then we get caught within life, and we get caught into these patterns. And then, especially addiction, it can be so hard because our bodies are working against us. Absolutely. Our brains are working against us. There's this battle between our consciousness and our physical and mental reality.
Yes.
Because there's a part of our conscious being that doesn't want to be addicted. That's why people hit rock bottom and come back up off it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I actually understand that addiction, actually, the root of it is first of all and foremost a spiritual malady, which then manifests itself into a mental malady, which in turn also affects our emotions and also causes our bodies to start craving as well for drugs, and actually becoming they call it an allergy in some cases. They say, well, once I have one drink, I can't stop. Once I have one puff of a crack, I can't stop, you know. And then you've got other people there, they're mystified, they're puzzled, they're perplexed. They actually look down at us and say, look, they can't stop. What's the matter with these people? You know, I drink every day. I have a line or two, or I can stop, you know. You know, some people can even claim that they have a crack pipe or two and stop. And, you know, what's the matter with these people? You know? I mean, what do you have to say to that?
I think we have agreements with these things, and we have excuses for these things, and we're in agreement with our excuses. I've definitely been in that state myself, where it's like, no, it's all right, I could stop at any time, but this helps me. Did you see what I did yesterday? Did you hear what we did 2 days ago? Did you see what show we just pulled off? Like, it's all right, this is just fueling the lifestyle. You kid yourself until you can't anymore.
So in other words, you're saying that we lie to ourselves.
100%.
We're being dishonest.
Yes.
And, we need to be honest to recover.
100%.
First step, honesty.
100%. Like, there needs to be the internal honesty for any tools to work in terms of addiction, of even with your own mental health. Away from addiction, away from just mental health on its own, there has to be a level of honesty within yourself, within your internal conversation. You need to be able to look at the things that scare you about yourself and actually connect with them. These are just tools for us to do. If you don't want to do that, then the tools don't work.
Absolutely.
There's an analogy of, like, say a plant, if you had a sound of running water playing, the plant's roots grow towards that.
Wow.
But unless there's actual water there, the plant will die. There needs to be substance in the center of what we're doing.
Yes.
For there to be real change in your life. But then these are great tools. It sounds complicated, but you'll see later it's as easy as listening to music with with your coffee in the morning, or taking 10 minutes just to sit down and relax and listen to some music that's specifically designed to get you in one state or another. It's a tool for when you're ready to take it serious, for you to then be in control of certain aspects of your life that previously a substance might be in control of, or you just never was in control of.
Absolutely. So really it's sort of saying, well, instead of me picking up the crack pipe, let me pick up this CD player here or whatever, and put on some of these tunes and get some music therapy. Yeah,
definitely. And let me it's also have intent. So before you get to the point of wanting to get to the substance, you've already started the journey of not needing it. So in the morning I prep myself by having a morning few minutes, rather than just jumping straight on my phone or putting the news on and hearing all of the depressing shit that's out there. I'll take a few moments and with my morning coffee on the balcony, listen to something and just center myself. That's preemptive. So later on in the day, I'm not going to get to the point where I feel like, everything's too much, fuck it, let me just grab a drink to get through the next few hours of work, because I've started off with the negativity of the whole world in my head. So just simple things like that will help me not get to that point anymore, where because I'm clear, I'm setting up my intentions for the day.
Absolutely.
And for me, I love music. Most people start their day with putting a bit of music on anyway, so it's just adding a little bit of intent to that.
Yes, indeed.
A little bit of
I mean, you could call it like putting on your body of armor, a bit of protection against these evil forces out there trying to, drag us into, the crack pipe or the coke lines or the, or the bar or whatever.
And in the same way that these sounds and frequencies can affect us in a positive way, there's also negative effects that we experience every day through the sounds that we hear and the sounds that we experience. You want to go all the way to the extreme of how negative sound can affect us. Is it's used in torture. Sound is used as a torture device, So there's studies that show that people who live in the city and have the city sound, the noise of the traffic and all of that kind of stuff, have a higher level of certain mental health issues and have a higher level of certain diseases, because these sounds are always affecting us, and always we trust sound. We've trusted sound since we've been in the womb. It's one of the first senses that we connect with and that we experience is our mum's heartbeat and the sounds of actually being in the womb. So we have a deep connection within our psyche to sound, and it affects us in a real way, whether you're aware of it or not. So by taking control and using sound to actually combat some of this stuff is something that I have found helps exponentially.
And you took me back to lockdown when it was so quiet. It was so peaceful. I mean, I really loved it, and I was sad when lockdown finished. Actually, I mean, I said, "Man, and because I realized what noise pollution was all about. Because before I said, "Well, noise pollution," because your normal thing here in traffic and all that going on, but without all that, I said, "My gosh, man, this is." I know what noise pollution is all about.
100%, 100%. So we'll go through some examples. I'd like to. We'll start with the morning coffee drink or whatever your hot drink is. I'm going to make us one now, so we'll take a little break. I'll make the drink.
Okay.
We'll start from there, and then we'll go through some deeper examples of sound therapy. But I thought it would be nice to start light.
Yes.
If that's okay.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Love that. Well, here we are again, Brother Wesley, and on music therapy. Please take over.
Excellent. So we're going to go through just a little examples. We'll start with a few examples of just how sound affects us, and then we'll start with a simple way to start your day on the right foot with your morning drink, whatever it is, and a nice piece of music that will start your day right, and then we'll go deeper into sound therapy from there. So we were saying before about how much we trust sound and how much we know what our environment is through what we hear.
Yeah.
And for me personally, in my sleep routine, I'll listen to a thunderstorm. Okay. I'll put that on, and that will just send me right off. But I use it as an example. We'll listen to it now. So the good thing about doing this here is if you're watching and you've got headphones, put them on and you can try this along with us.
Okay.
All of this section is interactive, so you can have headphones on. You'll experience it the same way we're experiencing it now.
Beautiful.
So so this one is just close your eyes, and I'll play the thunderstorm. But one thing that happens when we hear thunderstorm or rain particularly, our body starts to relax and also try to sense the temperature.
Wow.
And you'll notice it when you listen to it. You'll either start to feel a bit colder, or you'll just start to feel aware of your temperature, because there's an associated physical sensation to the sound that your body's used to. So here we go.
Wow, that I was really there. I felt my whole body, there was this current, flowing through my body while I was listening to the water and the thunder there. It was beautiful.
So we have this physical reaction to sound, and with my job as doing shows, as a music director, as a music producer, I get to see the effects that sound has on people all the time, just through the songs that we enjoy. We all know that we have this connection with music. This is just highlighting certain ways we can dial into them reactions and use them for our own benefit. So for me, that's super relaxing. I enjoy it. I could listen to that. Like when there is an actual thunderstorm, I'll open my window and really I enjoy it.
Well, I'd just like to say that I always loved the rain and the sound of the rain on the roof and the thunderstorm and all that. So really, as a child, I just
come closer to the mic a bit, Vander.
I just loved it as a child. I didn't realize that this was what it was all about. I was really enjoying the therapy, the benefits.
Yes, definitely.
And even hurricanes, 70 mile an hour wind, 100 mile an hour wind. I said, "Oh wow!" It's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And even the fact that it brings these memories back up. Like sound has the ability, and music has the ability to hold memories for us. You hear a certain song, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about that song." And then all of a sudden, a whole year of your life might come flooding back to you. We have this great connection. That's why it's so nice to be able to use this to actually help with addiction, with mental health stuff, because we have this inbuilt connection to music already. Most of us do anyway. So this example is something that we can enjoy. I created this because I think a lot of the time we don't start our day with intention. We don't start our day. We just get up and think, "Shit, what have I got to do?" And we don't start with. A lot of us don't start with a routine that's for us. We just get up and then that's it. We're in the bathroom getting ready, grab a coffee on our way out. I'm running late. There's no, you know what I mean? Like some people have a good routine, but if you don't, this is something simple that can just help you get into a nice start your day right. This is how it, and so it's if you have a coffee in the morning or a tea or a herbal tea, you just make it, get to a point where you're ready to actually drink it. It's at the right temperature, and then if you've got a drink with you now, you're watching, and then you just literally take. It's only 2 minutes long, I have this in the morning, and I'll just take out the 2 minutes and I'll sit down, normally on my balcony if the weather's permitting, but if not, just in my room, and I'll just close my eyes and start my day with some intention.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've got our drinks. Mac and Junior got their drinks.
Okay.
So yeah, if you got a drink, join in with us. I'll just play it, enjoy, close your eyes, enjoy your drink, and imagine you're starting your day right.
Mm-hmm. Getting into it, brother. yeah. Rewind.
Brilliant. But now, for me, I don't feel so anxious about starting the day after listening to that. And it's not necessarily any magic frequencies in there. It's just starting your day off with some intent. There was a study that shows that the sound of a coffee shop makes people enjoy coffee more. So during that, there's different sounds that are in there of an actual coffee shop. So if you enjoy that with a coffee, there's a chance that you're going to enjoy your coffee actually more with listening to that at the same time. So it's just a little treat to start your day, nothing too deep. But like for me, it just relaxes me, gets me into a certain state. And now it feels a lot better to start my day. Whatever I've got coming, whether it's a super big session or whether I'm just coming to hang out, like it just sets me in a good space.
Well, I've benefited from it right now, and it's not breakfast time. It's it's even past dinner time. And
or even like your coffee break or the break that you take during the day. Any moment to center yourself for a second.
Absolutely, brother. That's beautiful. It works, people, brothers and sisters. Believe me, it works.
Excellent. So now, because we were talking earlier, see, it doesn't always have to be the slow kind of tranquil stuff, but then there is space for that, which we'll get into now with an example of a song that actually uses frequencies to help promote brainwaves to help you relax. It promotes a deep brainwaves of deep relaxation around the 3 hertz range. And
what's 3 hertz range?
So excellent. So basically, the way we measure brainwaves is in terms of frequencies.
Right.
And these frequencies are measured in hertz, which just means how many times the sound cycles per second it's
cycles per second. Were in your head or in your?
That's just how we hear. Like the sound frequencies are based on pressure waves, and they have the pressure wave cycle at a certain amount per second, and that's what we perceive as sound. It's how we measure frequencies in general. It's just a standard of measurement, basically.
Is it a speed that it's going?
Yes,
at?
yeah.
So you got sounds traveling at different speeds.
Yeah. So that's why if you're in a festival and you're walking towards the stage, if you notice, you'll hear the bass from the stage first, because the low frequencies are slower, but they're longer.
Right.
So they travel farther. Okay. So you'll experience the bottom end first. So you just hear the, and the closer you get, the more it will open up. And then when you get in front of it, there's the top end, and you can hear the hi-hats and all of that kind of stuff. So that's it. All of these frequencies travel at different rates, and they have different lengths. And sound is a great way for us to understand it, but then also our brain waves, magnetic energy, all of this stuff is measured in exactly the same way.
Okay.
So these frequencies are split up into different bands when it comes to brain waves. You got the delta, which is like when you're dreaming, like real deep sleep. These are really slow and low frequencies. Yeah, these are really like
subliminal.
Yeah, like it's like dreaming. It's like sleeping without dreaming. That's that stage where you're fully just conked out. And then there's theta, which is more. It's still in the dream. It's still in the sleep zone, the low area. And then as you go up, you go to alpha, which is like calm but alert, and then you got beta, which is more like I'm fully awake. Anxiety is also overstimulation in this area. And then you got gamma, which is when you're in the zone, when you're just doing, like, say if you're an artist or if you're a musician or if you're an athlete or whoever you are, when you're working and you get into that zone moment where time disappears and you're just focused on the task and you're killing it. That's in the gamma area. That's around 40 hertz. It's triggering off in our brainwaves.
You know, in addiction, you got people who can't get up. You know, we call it duvet diving.
Yes.
They just want to be under the duvet and take drugs and drink their alcohol and just stay under the duvet. So we got music, we got sounds to get them up out of bed. And,
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
That's beautiful.
So these ranges, it might sound a lot, but it's just for you to understand that these are the bits that you can take control of with certain sounds. So if you do need to perk yourself up, if you do need to get in the zone for a task, then there's certain sounds that you can listen to that help promote that way of being, and that you can interact with and can get you into that zone.
Well, it's good to know which sounds to go for different moods and mind states that one is in. That's 100%. Education in itself, obviously. I mean, maybe, you're teaching us as much as you can. So please go ahead, bro. Okay,
excellent. And like I said, these are the tools that I just found along the way, and I'm self-taught in this area. I've gone in and I've learned it through just doing research, going on Google Scholar and just typing in some like sound therapy, and then reading actual scientific articles that have been published, and just collected the data for myself. And now I use that to create this music, to create these tools that hopefully will help people in the same way that they've helped me.
Yes, that's a beautiful part about it. You're a living testimony that it works, and you don't need a piece of paper to authorize you as a sound therapist, because you've been through it from the bottom up. Under the bottom up. Exactly. Like,
I don't claim credentials. I'm just letting you know what I use and what I find really helpful. And actually, if you want to research the validity of what I'm saying, there's enough articles and scientific papers out there to do so. So I feel like I don't need to, like you said, experience is what it is.
Absolutely.
So this one I created. We won't listen to it all because it's like a 15-minute piece of music, but we can put the link in the description. People can go and listen to it. But this is one for anti-anxiety, and this uses binaural beats and monaural beats, which are specific rhythms that will get into a deep relaxation.
The binaural beats, is that African?
No, it's the term binaural beats is basically binaural is two different tones.
Okay.
When they come together, one in this ear, one in that ear, your brain notices the difference between the two, and it creates a beat, a pulsation, and that pulsation is what now will promote a certain state of being.
So what creates the beat? Your brain?
Yeah. So basically, it's I can explain it. I can give you an example of it right now. Actually, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll give you a good example of it. I'll just load up something.
Yes, I mean certainly when something is legal, it changes people's perceptions about it. I mean, I remember the days when cannabis tincture was legal back in the 60s, and and obviously, it wasn't much hoo-ha about it. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't publicized like now. You get CBD being publicized and so on and so forth. But coming back to alcohol again, because it's on every corner.
Yes.
People think, well, why are you trying to crucify me because I'm drinking? Why are you criticizing me? I'm drinking from morning till night. Leave me alone. It's more or less saying, well, this is legal, man. You know what I mean? Take, But obviously, as we know, from being a legal substance can lead to also being acting in illegal ways, which results in imprisonment. So you end up from one legal substance transporting you into the legal courts.
100%.
Yes. And being it's the worst drug of all is it's really alarming.
Okay, cool. I'm set. Let me just test this, make sure it's not too loud. You can hear that, right? Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. Yes, so we are now set up. But yeah, so binaural beats. I'll give you an example. Now, if you've got headphones on, you can hear this yourself. So basically, the binaural part of it means two, this side and this side. So we're going to use sine waves. It's a simple tone, just a simple sine wave. You'll hear it. It's just one tone. And you'll hear it just in one ear. I'll unmute it now, so you can hear that.
Got it, yeah.
And then I'll mute that again, and then in this ear, I've got another one which is 12 hertz higher, so slightly higher. Oh no, that was the other way around. This is the lower one. This one's at 100 hertz.
Right.
The one we listened to before is at 112 hertz. So
really?
This one is a bit higher.
Less higher, right? Yeah.
And then this one is a bit lower.
Oh yeah.
But then if we listen to them together, you'll hear. There's a pulsing going on now.
Yeah.
That's happening on the inside of our heads, not the outside of our heads. So our brain is taking these two signals, and as it processes them together, that difference is happening.
Yes.
And that happens in sound waves in the real world. If I was to turn the table into a speaker and play these two frequencies through it, you'd get the same. The table would do it. Okay. But when we do it like this, our brain is doing it, and we start to get into that rhythm, and our brain waves at that speed start to promote a little more than the rest. They become louder than the rest, so that helps us get into a certain state.
And what state is that?
It depends what frequency is set to.
Frequency.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can be from the low ones, the delta range, to help you really get into a deep state of meditation or a real deep sleep if you need it, all the way up to the gamma ones that get you into the zone, fully ready to go. And I use it throughout to help me achieve whatever I'm wanting to do at the time.
Wow, that's great.
So this one uses them frequencies, and it helps you. It's for deep relaxation. It's to help with anxiety. It's to help. It's to help calm you down if you're starting to feel like you're on the edge of manic as well. It will just relieve you, give you a bit of breathing space.
Good for paranoia and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us got paranoid on cocaine.
Yeah, oh, definitely, 100%. But yeah, I'll play it.
But I'd just like to say that at the same time, you know, a corrupted mind or a mind that's not so well would think, well, if I can use that sound therapy, I can still take my drugs because I won't get paranoid, you know. When I just put the sounds in my head and I can take coke and without any paranoia. I mean to say,
no. I've been through that.
Right.
I've been through that, and I also suffered with having a psychotic break where I was. The excitement and the top end of life was too much. Now I dealt with the depression, and the bottom end was but the top end, and was blurring the lines of freedom a lot because I was starting to now get back into some old habits because I was like, oh yeah, no, I can do this. I can handle this. I can beat this, so I can tap into it whenever I want. That was not the case.
No.
I ended up in a cycle to prove that that's not the case. So yeah, no, it's not. That's why I call it a tool. It's not a magic cure for anything. It's a tool that you need to use alongside your actual determination, and your consciousness needs to be engaged in the process.
Absolutely.
It's not a cheat code. But it's a really good and powerful tool.
Yes, you got to be authentic in your determination to recover.
Yes, it's like what you were saying earlier about the honesty.
Honesty, indeed.
Yeah, definitely. So this is with this. All of these, the links will be in the description. This one is just a 15-minute sound bath that will just promote relaxation. So whenever you need to relax, you need to take 15 minutes out of your day. You can just stick this on, put your headphones on, find a quiet space. Don't do it while you're driving or while you're riding a bike, seriously. It can be disorientating if you're walking down the street. Like, be in a place where you want to be relaxed.
Yes. So are there sounds that you can't hear as well that can help us? Because, you know, like the dogs, there's sounds that the dogs hear that we can't hear. Are those involved here as well?
Not in these ones, but in terms of actual the live experiences and live sound bath sessions that we'll be doing in the future, then definitely will be more, you use vibrations that you can feel. At the moment, the headphones that we're using will limit the range that we can play with. You know what I mean? So, but when we do actual live events based on this, we have ways of creating vibrations through the floor and through things that through your seat and stuff that will allow you to really immerse yourself in relaxation or whatever it is that we're going for.
I heard that there's a device that you can buy for mice and keeps mice away.
Yeah, you know, basically it's an ultra. Yeah.
You got one?
No, I don't have mice.
Well, I need to get one.
But yeah, I've heard of them. The ultrasound is super high. We can't hear it, but it will freak the mice out.
So where do I get one of those?
Amazon, I believe.
Amazon. Okay, all right. Well, I hope Amazon's going to include us in some of the percentage and all this advertising. That
not a sponsor.
Yeah, sponsor us for the next, episodes. Amazon, thank you so much.
Let me play you this one. Actually, as we're talking, I'm gonna change the one that I'm gonna play. Excellent. So this one is coming off a project that I'm bringing out in May, and this is called French Lights, and exactly what I said, but this one's a bit shorter, so we can actually listen to it.
So what's the name of your project?
The project is called Bipolar Express.
Bipolar Express.
Yeah,
right.
I've got an amazing intro narrated by yourself, which I was super
very much.
excited about.
Can't
But
wait.
yeah, so this is a track that includes the binaural beats that we spoke about. And yeah, enjoy it. Just be somewhere relaxing, close your eyes, and
Wow. I opened my eyes a bit earlier. I saw the music had ended, but there was that woo going on, and so I got back into that. That's really amazing.
Yeah,
It took me on a journey, actually. It's
yeah, so yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah, so these things promotes relaxation, and it's just once I was able to have these moments, I was able to start getting my head around getting my life together. I felt more empowered. I didn't feel like I was subject to external anymore. I felt like I was finding the internal triggers that I could press myself. These sound bars and stuff like that just gave me the headspace to get into that way of thinking. But then there's also massive health benefits, physical health benefits for people who struggle with chronic pain. There's been a number of studies, even recent studies, that show taking moments and getting into these states and using sound can lower your the feeling of pain and the pain score, they call it. It lowers your perception of pain. So these are the tools that are available to be used.
Yes, this is a spiritual tool, because this is not a physical tool or a mental tool. This is a spiritual tool. It's touching parts that that other things cannot reach. It's marvelous.
I think for me, my journey with my mental health and with addictions and stuff, my faith and my spiritual journey was a big part of me getting to understand the power I had to recover from this, and the grace that there is to pull yourself back from the situations that we find ourselves in.
So that last tune sounded like.
Yeah.
Recovery.
Yeah. That's where it was in the journey.
Yeah, the recovery.
That's like the piano and the strings in there. There was no click. If people who make music would understand, there was no metronome. It was just a feeling, an emotion, a moment. And then I had them frequencies playing in the background as I was playing. Wow. But yeah, so I just love the fact that these things are here. I didn't know it about them. I've had to go through a journey, and also there's like you start, like, just to be clear, if you start just mindlessly typing stuff into YouTube binaural beats, a lot of weird shit will come up. I had to wade through a lot of the woo to get to the actual. Oh no, this is the actual physical. This is the reaction that you're all pinning whatever you want to pin on. Like, that's why I like to talk about it. That's why I'm making music in that way. That's why I wanted to because there is a lot of it's like anything online. You can start to find stuff that will take you down roads that are like, maybe your belief system will struggle with some of the stuff that it's talking about, or it will feel weird or whatever. There's a very clear physical reaction. Yes. Our bodies are made up in this way, and this is a great tool for us to have. Absolutely. Whatever people surround that with, this is a tool that people can use for their own mental health and their own journey.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's why I'm trying to make it easier and clearer to find.
I mean, you remind me, it's a lot of surgeons, a lot of people, music while you work is a big thing now, it wasn't
definitely
so popular many years ago, but it certainly can't hardly go anywhere now without hearing music being
100%. Like, a lot of students at university are using this stuff, having it playing in the background while you're studying, while you're revising. There's music that's for that. There's get you into that top range of the frequencies where you can start really comprehending a lot of information and stuff like that. So it's a tool that can be used across the spectrum. Like I said, with the pain stuff, we're developing a playlist, a whole playlist of music that's specifically towards pain relief. Wow. And we're doing that with sickle cell charity. So starting to make, if you go onto Spotify, YouTube, all of these things, you'll find that people have been doing this for years, and there's a whole but yeah, we're just trying to make it easier, more accessible, more straightforward, easy language for people to understand, because it can seem daunting. It can seem like start talking about frequencies and all of this stuff. Not everyone can understand it, but I think people can resonate with it.
Yes, indeed. Words, sound, and power. I mean, fact is, I was just thinking, well, you know something, you know, you can just be a happy person, you know, you haven't got any hang-ups as such, and so on, and yet listening to this music can prevent you from ending up in the depression by building up your immune system, or your defense system against things like depression or addiction and all that sort of thing.
Definitely.
Or anger even, and so many things.
It's so many, and we're not taught this stuff. When we're not, no one gives us an education of how to deal with what's in here. We get taught the external world. We get taught maths, shapes, colors, all of this stuff. Yeah. But there's not much of an education, or there wasn't when I was growing up, much of an education around mental health and keeping your mind in check, and how we take control over our thoughts, and no one teaches us this stuff, how we interact with the chemicals that our body produces in certain situations, and how actually we're not a slave to the physical as much as we are taught we are, or we think we are. To be more precise, like, we actually have the power within us to take control over these things and start to live a life off of automatic with intention and purpose,
Indeed. I mean, I remember when my last girlfriend left me, or she gave me the boot. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that. You know what I'm saying? And I played music. I played music and play music till even my eyes watered. Listen to some of the notes. You know what I mean? It's so definitely sweet, and you just remember the times. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like you're saying goodbye. You know what I mean?
100%. But it gives you that space to express them emotions.
Absolutely.
It gives you somewhere to put that energy.
And it's better than drinking and drugging.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's we'll put the sleep video. There's a sleep video, but I think we've covered pretty much a wide range for people to cover. But I'll put some links in the video of a sleep video as well, that we created, and other stuff. But
what the intro? I thought that would be a good.
Oh yes, okay. Ooh.
How did you? Where was you at when you was making that?
Okay, great. The Bipolar Express, the project that you yourself are on as well.
Mental health.
This is my soundtrack to my journey with mental health. When I came up with this has been years in the making, this project, and when I first came up with the title, I wasn't even on a journey of understanding my own mental health issues. I called it Bipolar Express because I wanted to do all the different styles that I have in my head.
Okay.
And they're quite bipolar. It's like bits of classical, and then we're going to gospel, and then so I called it that, not realizing that I was just about to embark on my own journey of my own mental health. But were
you yourself diagnosed as bipolar? Or?
No, I haven't been diagnosed with bipolar, but as I had a really strong bad period of my life where I was really lost in depression and anxiety, and I've been around family members that have mental health issues. I'd been involved in I used to be a foster carer, so I had training in mental health issues and all of that kind of stuff. So when I started my own journey on it, it was like, okay, this is why I called it this. This is the journey. This is my. And there has been times where I've exhibited bipolar tendencies. There's been periods where I would have like real lows, and then 2 minutes later I'm about to save the world. But the intro, I'll play it. I'm not sure if you've heard the finished intro.
I haven't heard it.
Okay,
at all.
Excellent. So I'll play it to you now. We'll do this on camera. Excellent.
Honored.
But this was, like we've been talking, this is a perfect place to play it, because it's all of the narration that you said is all quotes from people of note over history, or their quotes on music and the connection and the power of music. So the intro is really a glimpse into not only my connection with music, but the journey, the importance that music played and sound played along the journey of me getting to grips with my own mental health, getting over addiction and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I'll play it now for you.
Beautiful. Beautiful music is the art of the prophets that can calm the agitations of the soul. It is one of the most magnificent and delightful presents God has given us. I was born with music inside me. Music was one of my parts, like my ribs, my kidneys, my liver, my heart, like my blood. It was a force already within me when I arrived on the scene. It was a necessity for me, like food or water. Music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. Music can change the world because it can change people. Music is the mediator between the spiritual and the sensual life. Music was my refuge. I could crawl into the space between the notes and curl my back to loneliness. Welcome on board the Bipolar Express. Wow, man, this is viral, man. This is man. Oh man, this is big stuff here, brother.
Whoa.
Well, that's some real music therapy there, brother.
Mate, you're the tone of your voice and the authority and the journey is all there. It was the hearing your tone, because when I first had the demo of this, I just put the quotes into some computer voice and put it on there just to have, because I knew that's what I wanted it to be. And then I was in the studio, I played it to Jay. He was like, I've got the guy for this. And then we met at we was outside. You was doing one of your events.
Yeah, the soup kitchen.
Yes, you did the soup kitchen. That's where I met you.
With our forgotten neighbors.
Yes, and as soon as Junior introduced us and you started talking, I was just captivated by the tone of your voice. I can't even remember what you said, to be honest, because all I was trying to imagine you saying this. From the second we met, I could hear it. And then, I'm extremely grateful that you came and did it. And I'm very proud of the way it's come out. You sound amazing.
And I'm grateful to our creator for giving me a voice like this to be part of this. And I'm suddenly really triple awake to the fact that, man, you know what I mean, this is why God gave you this voice, because I thought, wow, this is really brilliant. You know, the whole thing, together is just, wow, thank you, God. Thank you for the voice like what I've got, and thank you for Wesley with his musical genius, and thank you for Junior over there with his musical genius and photography genius and filming genius, and thank you, God, for Chris over there with his musical genius and filming genius, etc. And you're filming genius too. You know you've been you know a bit about films, don't you?
Very long time ago. No, it was in the days where you just couldn't afford it, so you have to learn how to do it.
That's
but
beautiful.
and it's. Thank you for collaborating with me on the project. I'm glad that we've been able to sit together and do this. I think one thing that I'd like to leave it on is the importance that none of us are alone and that we all do this together.
Absolutely.
We've just connected over the last few months, but our journeys of mean that we've been connected for a long time.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So if you're out there and you're earlier on in your journey, just know that you're not alone, and there's people that have walked the same road that you've walked. Absolutely. And it is doable.
Don't quit before the miracle. All you drug addicts and alcoholics out there, and criminals out there, and men of violence, and even those suffering homelessness at this time, and those in pain physically or mentally suffering and so on. Don't give up before the miracle. If I'd given up, I wouldn't be here today with Brother Wesley, and Brother Wesley wouldn't have, exactly, vice versa. So please, don't give up. Pick up the phone. You can even call us from Rehab to Life Foundation on 0203 758 4811. Please call us if needs be. Better to pick up the phone than pick up that jug or that drink or that knife even. Indeed. From Rehab to Life Foundation podcast, we've had the privilege and pleasure and honor of having a special guest here today, Wesley. Not only is he a sound engineer, but he's also a sound therapist and a recovered addict. How about that?
Amen.
Through the power of music. And we sincerely trust that the power of this podcast here will help others to come forward, to get the strength to be honest, to get the courage to be honest, and ask for help. Call us on 0203 758 4811. Or if it's not you that's suffering, but it's your loved one, give us a call all the same. See if we can talk to him or her in the process.
Also, look out for the book From Rehab to Life by Tamara Gabriel.
That's right. How could I forget that? And also, because that's a map to help you to say, well, if I can do it, you can do it. Just read the book. It'll inspire and motivate you in that direction. And also the album here, Ex-Gangsters Odyssey, does exactly the same thing. So please support us via these merchandise here, with all proceeds going into the charity to help others to help themselves to a better life. Bless you, brother.